In this video, I'm going to reveal what it really costs to self-publish, how you can create a simple budget that you can afford, and I'm going to provide some cost-saving strategies that won't break the bank. So it's important to note that these are approximate figures, so the total cost could be higher or lower depending on the length of your book, the complexity of your book, your marketing strategy, and so many other factors. First, we have editing. So a professional editor can run anywhere from $500 and up, depending on the length and the complexity of your book. But it's also important to note that there are many different types of editing. So there's developmental editing, which is a service that I offer, but there's also copy editing as well as proofreading. Next up is cover design. So expect to budget anywhere from $100 to $500 or even higher for a professionally designed book cover. Formatting your book for ebook and for print can cost anywhere from $100 to $300 to hire a professional formatter. However, this is one of the services that you can learn to do for yourself or at a very low cost. An ISBN for your print book typically runs about $125, and a copyright registration typically costs around $35. And then there's distribution. So while Amazon KDP is free, you will have to pay for proof copies as well as your first run and any additional runs. And what I mean by runs is let's say, for example, you're going to have a launch party. You're going to need copies of your book for that. So that's a cost that you need to factor in as well. Marketing and promotion cost as well. So you can spend as little as $100 if you do it yourself to thousands of dollars if you hire someone to professionally market your book for you. And don't forget about launch expenses, including giveaways, promotions, and advertisings. And depending on your strategy, this can cost anywhere from a couple of $100 to $1,000. And before we move on to the cost-saving strategies, make sure you download my ebook, The Self-Publishing Handbook. And if you purchase today, I'm throwing in 3 bonuses, including my author resources, where I'm sharing all of the resources that I use to successfully self-publish my book, as well as a self-publishing checklist and my Kindle Create templates, which will help you to format the inside text for your book. Now that you have an idea of the cost, let's move on to creating a budget that you can afford. The first thing you need to do is to prioritize your expenses. So earlier in the video, I walked through all of the different expenses that you need to consider as a self-published author. Now, arguably, the book cover and the editing are the most important. So these are the areas, if at all possible, that you really want to make sure are included in your budget. Now, as far as the other expenses, you want to prioritize those. So based on your book and what you are looking for your book to do, what is the most important things for you to include in your budget? The next thing you want to do is to DIY whenever possible. So earlier in the video, I talked about formatting. And formatting is one of those things that you can do yourself. Another thing that you can DIY yourself is your marketing. So obviously, it's great to have someone that you can pay to do the marketing for you, but that is something that you can do on your own. And then there's book cover design. So while I highly recommend that you hire a graphic designer, Canva offers some really good templates to get you started. And even if you don't have experience being a graphic designer, it can give you the feel of a professional design. The next thing you want to do is set realistic goals and align your budget accordingly. All right, so let's get into these cost-saving strategies as it relates to editing, formatting, and even cover design. So when it comes to editing, make sure you are using the software that you're currently using, whether it's Microsoft Word or Google Docs, and really relying on it to be your first editor. Whether you're using Google Docs or Microsoft Word, once you get to the final version of your manuscript, make sure that you are using the spell and grammar check. As it relates to formatting, if you have any experience using Microsoft Word, then you absolutely can do the formatting yourself. The last thing is to be patient and strategic. So while you may currently have a very modest budget, after you publish your book, you want to reinvest as your book gains momentum. So what that reinvestment will look like is maybe getting a new book cover, putting some money towards marketing and advertising, or maybe even having a launch party. So on the lower end, if you're extremely budget conscious and you do a lot of the work yourself, you're looking at anywhere from $500 to $1,000. And on the higher end, if you invest in professional services such as editing, formatting, and book cover design, you're looking at anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 or even higher. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and make sure you check out my previous video where I share 5 common self-publishing mistakes.